Chapter 32, The Presentation. The top executives were sitting around the conference table expecting a disaster. They had high hopes for George early on, but all they knew was that his performance was getting worse by the month, and today would be his last day. Today would be the final straw. The NRG 2000 was to be officially launched by the company in a month, and this presentation would determine if the product team was on track or in disarray as usual. They would in all likelihood place a senior executive to work with the product team and replace George. The NRG 2000 was their next big product push that would take their revenue to an all-time high, and they certainly couldn't place the future of their company in him. George stood at the front of the room and looked into their eyes. He could see their negativity and doubt. He knew they were expecting him to crumble and fail. Why wouldn't they, he thought. His heart started to race, and he found himself not able to think. Fear was starting to overtake him. Not now, he thought. I cannot allow them to bring me down. He remembered Joy telling him that his positive energy must be greater than anyone's negativity, and in that one thought, he found a smiling face staring at him. He thought of Joy, took a deep breath, and an incredible calm came over him. There certainly would be more failures in his life, but not today. Today, he would not be allowed to fail. The executives were expecting a complete disaster, but George and his team delivered one of the best product launches ever seen. His bus was cruising, and the executives all jumped on for the ride. After the presentation, George and his team gave each other a group hug, and all the executives flocked to George with pleasantly surprised looks of shock on their faces, wanting to know how he had just done so great. I decided it was time that I stopped being just a manager and started being a chief energy officer, he told them. They had no idea what he was talking about, but it didn't matter. George wasn't going anywhere except to meet with his team. He would have plenty of time to explain to the execs how to get on the energy bus and develop chief energy officers. But for today, he would take it easy, give his team the day off, and let them know how much he appreciated all they had done. Today, they hit a home run in the bottom of the ninth inning with the bases loaded, and it was cause for celebration. But interestingly enough, when George told his team they could all go home and enjoy the day off, none of them wanted to leave. They all wanted to celebrate with the team and George. They wanted to savor the sweet smell of victory and soak up the energy of the moment together. George began to understand that a team who puts their heart and soul into a project and works hard toward a shared purpose wants to celebrate together. They had accomplished something amazing, and they had deserved to bask in the light of a job well done. He couldn't deny them that. They were his team, and he loved them now more than ever. So instead of sending them home, George invited them all to lunch, where he treated them to an afternoon of food, fun, and unofficial team building. The team talked about their success today and their plans of continued success for the road ahead. They knew where their bus was going, and they were excited about being on it. Joy. The repair shop was just about to close when, in the nick of time, George walked in to pick up his car. He was thinking about the incredible lunch he had just had with his team when he approached the counter and said hello to the young lady who stood on the other side. She had red hair, a sweet expression, and a name tag that made George laugh. Her name was Joy. "What's so funny?" she asked. "Nothing," he answered. "I just love your name, that's all." Then he looked up toward the ceiling and said, "Thank you." The signs were clear. He realized that less than 2 weeks ago, he had been cursing the heavens for bringing all the misfortune and misery into his life. And now they were on his side, guiding him and showing him the path every step of the way. He understood how everything, including the good and bad, had brought him to this moment. If he had never gotten a flat tire, he would never have met Joy. If he hadn't gone through all the adversity and challenges at work, he would never have wanted to learn how to better lead his team. Now his career and future were brighter than he could ever imagined. If his wife hadn't threatened to leave him, he never would have realized how bad things were and how good they could be. What he had thought was bad, he now realized led to good. Joy had told him that everything happens for a reason. And while he couldn't see it while he had been going through it, now everything was crystal clear. Life is a test. Every adversity helps us grow. Negative events and people teach us what we don't want, so we can focus our energy on what we do want. George made a mental note that the next time he faced a problem at work, because he knew that there would always be new challenges, he would not let the problem sweep him up and swirl him around like a tornado. Rather, from now on, he would ask, what can I learn from this challenge? What is it teaching me? Then he would stay positive and trust that the lessons would make him stronger, wiser, and better. The woman behind the counter gave him his keys and said, "Enjoy your car, sir. I bet you're glad to have it back." George thanked her as he walked outside towards his car with the word enjoy lingering in his mind. He thought it was amazing how joy kept coming up in his life and how it flowed through him right now and spoke to his heart. It told him not to focus too much on the places he had been, but only to learn from the past. It said, do not focus on the future, because the future brings only what the present gives it. Rather, his heart whispered, focus on the path. Keep your head up and your heart full of joy. George realized after all the lessons he had learned the past 2 weeks, the greatest lesson of all had been right in front of him. It hadn't been something that must be said, but something that had been experienced and felt. He knew that no matter where his energy bus took him and whatever roadblocks lay ahead, all he had to remember was to allow joy to flow through him and savor every moment and mile on his journey. If he filled his life with joy, his work with joy, and his home with joy, oh, what a life he would live, and oh, what a ride it would be. With joy, everything would flow better and easier. As George drove his newly repaired car home, he made a commitment to himself to experience the joy in everything he did. Whether he was working on a project at work or spending time with his kids at home, he told himself that he would ask, where's the joy in this moment? Do I feel it? How can I experience more joy right now? He had experienced what it was like to ride on Joy's bus, and now he would make the feeling of joy a permanent passenger on his bus. George reached for his cell phone and called his mother. She had just finished her latest bout with chemo, and George knew she could use some joy right now. He wanted to tell her to enjoy every moment she had left, whether it was 6 months or 6 years. He wanted to tell her to savor the joy of every second and fill up with love, not fear, during this challenging time and every day of her life thereafter. He hoped somehow his own joy could relieve her of her anger and pain. But when she picked up the phone, George knew he didn't need to say any of those things. It wasn't something he could teach with words. It was something she needed to experience. He knew all he needed to say was, I love you, from the depths of his heart. Chapter 34. It's more fun on the bus. When bus number 11 pulled up to the bus stop on Monday, George jumped on. He gave Joy a big hug, and then he shouted to the rest of the bus, we did it! The presentation went perfect! The passengers cheered wildly as George high-fived Jack, Danny, Marty, and the rest of the passengers. Then he reached down next to his briefcase and lifted up a big sign. What's that, sugar? Asked Joy. It's a new sign, answered George. If people will learn the 10 rules, they should be able to read the rules on your bus. You can't read the handwritten words on your current sign up there, so I wanted to give you something bold and clear that will allow you to help others in the same way you help me. You're too sweet, George. And look at how pretty it is with those nice white bold letters. The rules look real good. Let's put it up, Marty said from the back of the bus, and the rest of the passengers agreed. So they put up George's sign, which would proudly share the Energy Bus rules for all future passengers and drivers to see. They were the 10 rules that had changed George's life, and everyone else on the bus knew this was only the beginning. Joy knew there would be many more Georges and Janes to come on her bus, and she was ready for all of them. Well, George, I want you to know that everyone who comes on the bus from now on will know your story, Joy said as she pointed to the sign. While you're driving that fancy car of yours to work, Your ears will be ringing because we will tell them about the man who gave us this sign and how he courageously plowed through the darkness to find his light. We will tell your success story, George. Well, that's nice and all, George said, and I'm truly honored, but if you're going to talk about me, it will have to be in front of me because I guess you can say I've had a change of heart. I've decided to take the bus to work from now on. Driving your car to work is great, but it's more fun on the bus. Yes, it is. It certainly is more fun on the bus, Joy said, giving him a big, bright smile. George smiled back as she stepped on the gas pedal and took off to the next bus stop where someone, somewhere, was waiting for the energy bus. They would get on, and it wouldn't take long for them to learn what George now knew. The energy bus will surely take you on the ride of your life. The sign on Joy's energy bus said, 10 rules for the ride of your life. 1. You're the driver of your bus. 2. Desire, vision, and focus move your bus in the right direction. 3. Fuel your ride with positive energy. 4. Invite people on your bus and share your vision for the road ahead. 5. Don't waste your energy on those who don't get on your bus. 6. Post a sign that says, "No energy vampires allowed" on your bus. 7. Enthusiasm attracts more passengers and energizes them during the ride. 8. Love your passengers. 9. Drive with purpose. 10. Have fun and enjoy the ride. Hi, this is John Gordon. I hope you enjoyed the story of the energy bus. If you want to share the energy or get your team on the bus, I invite you to visit our website, theenergybus.com. That's www.theenergybus.com. And if you're interested in leadership, sales, customer service, and team building programs based on the Energy Bus principles, contact us at the John Gordon Companies at 904-285-6842. Or you can visit us online at johngordon.com. That's Jon Gordon, GORDON.com. Or email us at info@johngordon.com. That's info@johngordon.com. And we also encourage you to invite others on your bus. You can visit theenergybus.com to print bus tickets or email bus tickets to invite others on your bus. Send a bus ticket to a coworker, a friend, or a family member, inviting them on your bus. Or print out bus tickets, just as George did in the story, and share them with your team and invite them on your bus. I hope this book makes a difference in your life and in your work and your team, and it has a positive impact on the life you live and the work that you do. It was an honor to share this story with you. Thank you so much for listening to it. And I'd love to hear from you. You can email me personally at jongordon.com. Thank you so much.
This has been a Gildan audio production. For more affordable life-changing audio programs, visit our website at gildanmedia.com.